Hi, I'm Dave Snowdon, and today I'd like to talk to you about a program called NAO Recorder that I've been working on with Don Najd for the last few months. It's a program that allows you to generate animations for NAO, and it generates Python scripts or JSON code. It doesn't require any software to be installed on the robot, and it works on Mac, Linux and Windows.
Okay, so I'll just take you through the basics of the user interface of NAO Recorder. So the first thing to do is connect to the robot. So you enter the robot's IP address or hostname and hit the connect button. So now I'm connected to the robot, and I can see four main regions of the user interface. There's the toolbar at the top, there's the code input window, there's a status window, and there's the representation of the robot, which shows me which motor chains are on and which joints are going to be recorded. So I'm going to start by turning speech recognition off, so the robot won't attempt to recognize what I'm saying here. And you can see that I've got confirmation in the status window that the speech recognition has been turned off. Also, the robot will say that speech recognition has been disabled. So let's just go through the toolbar first. So the file menu is pretty standard. You can have options for reconnecting to the robot, for opening and saving files. You just saw me use speech recognition. So one way of controlling NAO Recorder is to talk to the robot, and so you can give commands telling the robot to stand, to sit, to relax or stiffen a joint chain, and depending on your environment and your voice, these may work sometimes good and sometimes not so good. So you can turn that off if you don't want it. Likewise, you can use the touch sensors on the robot to stiffen and relax joint chains. So the back of the head will stiffen or relax the head. So while you hold it down, it's relaxed, and if you let go, it will stiffen again. The backs of the hands will stiffen and relax the arms, and the foot bumpers will stiffen and relax the legs. If you don't want that behavior, you can turn touch sensors on or off by clicking the touch sensors button. So now touch sensors are off, and I'll turn them back on again. You can control whether the motors are on or off. By default, the motors are off, and that's indicated by the motor buttons being green, and green in the chain buttons here. If I turn motors on, then it goes red to show that joints are stiff, and you can see on the robot representation that all the various joint chains are stiff because I've turned the whole thing on. Run script allows you to run the script currently in the code window. Now if you're recording to JSON or EDN, then that's a data format, so that's not runnable. So in that case, the run script button is disabled. But for Fluent NAO code, you can always run it using the run script button. At the moment, it now just says hi, so if I run that, the robot will say hi. The action menu allows you to put the robot into various standard postures. So you can make it sit, lie on its belly, stand, and so on, and basically use that to reset the posture before or after recording some movement commands. The Add Keyframe button is used to add a keyframe. So just as with Choreograph's animation mode, you'll put the robot into position, and you can either hit the Add Keyframe button, or you can tap the front head sensor to add a new keyframe. Read joints reads the current state of the robot. So if you want to put the robot in a position and only record differences from that position, you put the robot in the position, you click read joints, and then only changes from that position will be recorded. Keyframe duration is the time between keyframes. By default, this is 1 second. You can edit it to make it smaller or whatever number you like. And you can also edit it in the keyframe window, so the code window, as we'll see later. The final button allows you to choose what format you're going to record to. currently NAO Recorder supports 4 formats: Fluent Now, which is Python code, JSON format, which is just data, EDN, which is clojure's equivalent to JSON, or Naojure. Naojure is a library that I've developed that is similar to Fluent Now but written in Clojure. So for now we'll stick with Fluent Now. Okay, so the robot window. So this shows me 2 things. It shows me what joint chains are stiff by these bars here, and what joint chains I'm going to be recording. By default they're all enabled. If, for example, I wanted to record just the right arm, I could click the body to toggle them all on or off, and then just click the chain I want. I can also click particular joints. If I want just the hand or just the wrist, I can do that too. Or again, I can just toggle the whole chain. Same for the head or any other joint chain. So the code window is also editable. So I'm going to now turn the motors off to make the robot flexible, move the arm, and record a keyframe. Actually, first I need to enable the joint chain I want to record. And I could tap the front tactile sensor, but I'll do the add keyframe here so you can see what I'm doing. And here you can see that Fluent Now has generated a stanza of code. The duration for the keyframe is set here. So if I wanted to make that keyframe shorter, I can just edit this parameter here and say make that 1/4 of a second. So you can see that this keyframe involves 2 Fluent Now commands. I'm moving the arm to the left forward and the elbows, and then that launches the command. So let's do one more. Read the joints. Add a keyframe. Add another keyframe. Now I'm going to turn the motors on. Put the rope back into the standard sit position. Now I have these 2 keyframes. They've gone back to 1/2 a second. I'll leave them like that for the moment. And if I only want to run one of them, I can select the text to run and hit the run script button. Likewise, I can select the second one and just run that one. Or I can just hit run script and run them all. And once I've finished, I can again initialize the robot into the standard sit position. So that's the basics of the user interface. I'll now just want to demonstrate how you can record to JSON and then convert that. So I'm just going to clear this, change to JSON format, and again I'm going to record a couple of keyframes. Okay, I'm going to just click the button here to toggle stiffness off. Record one keyframe and another keyframe. And I'll put the rope back into sit. Now, I can save this JSON file as data, but the other thing I can do is, because JSON is sort of just a data format, I can also convert that to other formats. So if I click on the format menu and select Fluent Now, I'll get a prompt warning me that the results may not be exactly equivalent. For JSON, it probably will be, but I'll click OK to go ahead. And now I see the Fluent Now code that's equivalent to that JSON. The same is possible for EDN to Fluent Now, or for JSON to Naujure. Currently you can't convert from Naujure or Fluent Now to another format, but that will be coming in a later release. That concludes my description of the NAO Recorder user interface. Thank you.
Okay, let's record another animation. Let's maybe have him look his head, left and right, and then wave his arms.
Head relaxed. Head stiff. Head relaxed. Head stiff.
Okay, let's just run that so far. Okay, let's add some arms. So,
Left arm relaxed.
up there,
Left arm stiff.
keyframe. Let's grab everything. That's how I use the UI turn motor off. Stiff. Keyframe. And we'll wave it down there. And grab it again. So, let's put it back into neutral posture. And run that.